Yo, what's up, guys? Recording deck profile for first place bonanza, quarter century bonanza celebration. It is Goblin Biker once again. I had a 4-round tourney today, and I went undefeated. And I believe I only dropped one game the entire tournament, and that was in the last round. So I 2-0'd everyone else. And I think I won a majority of my die rolls. I think I won at least 3 of the 4. I played this today there's 2 events, one today, one yesterday at the time of recording. And the first event, I only went 2-2, and I made some minor adjustments right before the tourney, and the list did exactly what I wanted. Even when I opened like a garnet, it still worked really well, and it really, no complaints. So I had the mat, I won the mat, and a full box of bonanza, and here's how I did it. We are on 3 tour guide now. After the regional top up and the deck profile and upload, a lot of people are wondering why I wasn't playing tour guide, and I honestly wasn't sure why I hadn't, and so I very last minute decided to throw a tour guide in over the Gens and Ken, and it was amazing. It demands interaction, and it's just guaranteed to go off and do good. These are cool and they have application, but it's not anywhere near the power level of tour guide today. No complaints, never opened, it's always live. It's always going to be live, unless it's, the fact it's always live and that it works, it's amazing. And card's insane. Card does so much. So I absolutely enjoyed tour guide. When not playing it last, I'm pilled on it, and now I will never not be playing tour guide. Next, 3 Kagemucha Night. So in the last list, this was at 2 for the regional, and to take out the 4th card, or take out the Ken, the one you want to summon off again, I just threw in a 3rd Kagemucha, and I never saw it today, but in previous events and tourneys, this helped chain block. So the card, no complaints. You could be playing a psychic tracker if you wanted. So there's the option of that. That might be the only thing, but I didn't brick, I didn't complain. Card was good. I didn't see card, but yeah. 3 Terra Top. The stupidest starter, and just does so much. I opened 3 of this, and I still got, I played through 3 disruptions, or 2 disruptions, with 3 of these in hand, and I ended up winning that game. So, tour guide, Terra Top insane. Don't play any less. And 1 Take Tom board to go with. You only need 1, and you have 1 or 2 win targets in engine, or you have a win target in engine to make Take Tomborg live. So you just need the 1 wielder. If you have a level 3, you just summon it. I'm not playing synchros, but that's all you need sometimes. It's just the extra body, and no complaints. Would not cut it. Card did what it needed to. That's enough of the or that's all the non goblin 3s. Off to goblins. 3 Gone Wild. Card crazy, but not playing any less than 3. If I have no monsters, or if you're here, you know what it does. I won't get into explaining what the cards do, because it's pretty simple to look up. But the fact that I get summons from deck whenever it's summoned it just helped me win a game. Lab player flipped D barrier on me after setting it on my turn 1, and setting it on my turn 1, that was 2nd turn of the duel, and they flipped D barrier, and I still play this. I go Terra Top, search Take Tomborg, special Take Tomborg, and they debarrier me then. And I forget what I did. I think I forget. I think I like normal the Goblin went effect and they went like imperm, and I activate quick play, tributed the targeted monster for imperm, and then summon this. And then they went like punishment, pop this, and I'm like, okay, this is still gonna summon. And so I bring out Claggor Spooger and then Chain Resolve. What happened? I forget. Thinking, oh, I searched Grand Entrance. Okay, yeah, I summon Doug Charger. It would go effective search. They go imperm, and I'm like, okay, chain. I don't know, but like this, just this being 24 helped me with the continuous spell, bumped it to 35 because I had 3 goblins, and I swung over a Leggy. He summoned on my turn. Crashed with like a Doug Charger at 25 because the continuous spell into Despian Lulu Wabith. And then what else? Was able to punch him for like 24 direct with a Claggor Spooger I still on my field. So yeah, it was like insane interaction, like cleared field through the D barrier, and it was like no complaints. Let's get on with the profile. 3 Doug Charger, back or Spell Trap Searcher, and no complaints. Always play 3. You need to be able to search your Spell Trap cards, so card's insane. 2 Mean Merciless. This could be cut to 1. I could have cut a different card for the, or like I could have cut this for, or like this could be like the quick play spell, another copy of the quick play that you tribute a monster and then summon a goblin from deck. So like, because you can, I'm playing 2 card now, and so 2 guide Tugers, this is your in-engine target, and it's insane. This can, on your turn, detach a material from the field to revive itself. And then when he's summoned, he summons 1 from hand. So that tour guide tutoring this is insane. You could cut it to 1 now that tour guides in the list. Like, I understand now why we only play 1 with 3 tour guides, so it's insanity. And like, I didn't mind the second though, because like going tour guide, summoning the second to just get another boggy to potentially work with. Like if I go to turn 3 and the tour guide and the Mean Merciless are under a monster, under an Exceeds, I can just get the new Mean Merciless and then have access to do its grave effect and then summon it with its grave effect. And then when he's summoned, he summons 1 from hand. So it's just like you snowball really hard. 2 Claggor Spooger. Your revival, and it's a reborn. It reborns a goblin, and then it reborns itself on the opponent's turn only as a quick effect. And so, I feel like you need 2 for that reason. Is the reborn plays by bringing back names from the grave to get you engine pieces that you're missing to keep playing the game, and the detach from grave or detach on the opponent's turn. It didn't come up this tournament, but like in the past, I think at the regional, my opponent summoned Typhon, and then as soon as they summoned Titan, I was like on summon Claggor Spooger in grave effect, and they're like, what does that do? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna detach your 1 Typhon material to revive. And he's like, oh, okay, that's annoying, but whatever. And I was like, yeah, cool, I keep my board. And so yeah, I feel like you need a second. This isn't one of the builds where you want to minimize it, I guess. So like I enjoy that too. And then the last monster is 1 Boomlock. Revive or summons himself from hand or grave by detaching from either field as a quick effect, but you're locked out of it next turn. Still one of the weird pieces you want to search in case you have everything. Maybe it's 1 more. It could be 1 more, it could be cuttable, but it's the one you just search and it helps you mid to late game in grind games. 3 Grand Entrance, your Roga, and then it also allows you to summon from hand. If at the point of like resolution, you detach from the field to summon a level 4 lower goblin from hand. And then on a completely separate effect, you banish it, detach a material from the field to monster reincarnate, or like add a monster from grave to hand. That's a goblin. So you want to play 3 because you need to see your engine. You grab whatever piece you're missing. So like you grab level 6 and you just snowball from there. Like if you make Big Gamunga without normal summoning, you just grab the level 6. And then you make Big Gamunga, and then you normal the 6 because that's a Goblin Biker, and the big level 6 can summon without tribute. And this actually, the Grave Effect recovery came out today because I had summoned one of the full armor cards, the Ring 5, and I had 3 materials, and I detached 2. I searched my 2 full armor Xyz cards, or my armor Xyz cards, and I go, what's his name? I go Meet Mercer's effect, the revive on my turn. I go his effect in my graveyard, declare effect, detach for effect from Armor Fortress to attempt to revive, and he impulses it, and I was just like, I might be screwed here. I was like, I need to get that last material off, but I don't have any other way. And then I was like, oh yeah, Grand Entrance has that. Okay, Grand Entrance effect. And he's like, oh, what does that do? I'm like, I'm going to detach the material anyways and get back a name. And so that was amazing to finally remember that, because I never use it. It just never comes to mind. So the recovery effect has just never been a concern or a use for me. So just another application that was like big brain and helped me, like it helped me play through Disruption. Still on 2 Grand Bash. If you lose this card and you're playing the level 6, that's a brick now, because you can't overlay with it. You have no way of overlaying with it. And so I feel like the level modulation is important. Opening this is not bad if you have the level 6, because it modulates, because it lets you extend by normal summoning again. Impulse is insane. And it doesn't hurt this deck all that much, because the cards summon themselves without Terror Top just happens. And so it's like, when they impulse the right card and it's my only starter, it hurts, and it's almost a scoop sometimes. And it's happened twice now where I'm like, effect is special, and they're like impulse, and I'm like, great. And so like this card also, just the stat boost, like making the level 6 from 2400 to 3500 and swinging over a lady, and then my 1600 normal summon crashing with a 2500 glue because I had 3 goblins was insane. So I feel like I will always be on 2, because this card, 2 normal summons, it buffs stats, and it level modulates, and that's just invaluable. 2 Grand Breakout. You could play a 3rd. You honestly might want to play a 3rd. There were so many times today where it was like, declare effect on monster, and they're like, imperm, and I'm like, I'm going to tribute for cost response, and they're like, oh, what's that doing? I'm like, I'm going to summon a guy from deck. So you could play a 3rd. This card's insane, because this also gets whatever you're missing. Like, you can go tribute a dude, summon the level 6, and then trigger the level 6, summon another guy from deck. So like, the grave effect never comes up for me. I don't see it. Like, I don't look to like, oh, this is Wing Kong. I just look for the targeting protection by just sacking whatever I need. Like, a couple of people like got Magical Punishment. I was like, Cham, tribute your target so you don't send. And it's like, okay. Card performed well above what I needed. It was like, I need this card because it says Goblin Biker, and then it was like, this card more than overperformed, and like, not even overperformed, but I'm just like, I'm happy with it. 1 Armor Xyz. We're still on this. This card's kind of funny, kind of cool. Surprisingly, it has come up. So if I go into the Armor Xyz engine and I get the Armor Torpedo in my grave, I can use this to debuff something and make it a 25 base, or give it a stat buff. And then the equipped monster, when it battles, if it's equipped with Armor Torpedo, skill drains all their monsters, and they can't activate cards or effects, and you can't target. So I surprisingly come up with this on my turn as a proactive way to just buff my stuff. And so I love this card. This is a Gargant, and it's it's so weird, but I love it. When it perform, I don't think it never did not perform, because it just targets a monster and equips and exceeds from my graveyard to that monster I control. And so it's not like the trap card where I have to target Xyz and equip it to another Xyz. So it's cool in that regard. And then the equip monster, this gives the ability to send the monster that is equipped to it to attack again. So I punched for 54 with one monster. So niche, yes. Has uses, absolutely. 3 tactics. No complaints. Drew 2 a few times. Ripped card from hand and just played the game for free after that. Card insane. Tactics, like, oh my gosh. Card did exactly what I knew it to. Like, I took a monster once and it was like well over lethal. I just didn't want to compete with Schuberta banishing my graveyard, which sounds funny, but until it's like this deck kind of needs grave, and it wasn't like I was winning that game anyways, but this was just an ensure. 3 thrust. Weird. It's weird. I would still play it because it was like we got to a grind game. Like we got down, we hand trapped up. Like I got hand trapped, but I still Zeused, and so after the fact, like we had no, I just only card in my hand, and he was top decking, and I just set the, was it Grand Entrance, the Roga, and I was like, all right, next turn, because he just set one pass, and I was like, all right, Grand Entrance search. And so like this card helped me win a game, and so it's like you honestly just can't. You're missing out, especially in this, because you get your Roga, or you get Duster. And like I did play into a Ring Extung and I lost to it really hard. Even opening this, or like against one of the lab players, I did just hard open this and I just dropped it on the table. So like you want to be searching this with Thrust, so it's like it's an option. And then lastly, called by for hand traps. Negated Perulia, negating Ash. Karg is crazy. Karg insane. I can't go wrong with called by. 1 full armored. Full armored Xyz is you need for engine. You need it to make a big body because sometimes the deck just can't make anything bigger than, I don't know, like 2500, 2600. And so this just solves that. This card gets you to your 3k plus body. And it's also, if you end on an Xyz and they hand trap you and you open this, you just set it, and then on your opponent's turn you fire it. And so like, and it also just randomly stat buffs one of your Xyz if you have one in grave or on field. And so card did amazing. Even hard opening it, this card did crazy. Like I would no complaints about full armor Xyz, would not cut it. Always like card ecstatic about the card. Goblin Biker Grand Stampede. This is an imperm or an Xyz summon if I use only goblins to Xyz summon. The imperm came up once in Tenbai, and I ended up winning that match in the tourney where I went 2-2. Because he summoned Fadra and I impermed it immediately, and it just helped. It's one of the things that helped. Tenpai, I've really struggled to learn how to play against. But I finally won a match 2-1. Like I went to game 3 and I narrowly took it. I forgot to explain something rolling wise, or like effect wise, but there was no rulings, there was judges there, but like effect wise I forgot to explain something. But this card helped me accomplish winning the 3rd game against Tenpai finally. So like I feel like I'm learning about that. This could, I don't know how I feel about the removal trap. It's either removal or it's DD Crow. So I remove one from my field and one from their field, or I can remove one from their grave and one from my grave, like one goblin from my grave, one card from their grave. So it has applications. The other one, I don't know how I feel about it, wanting to switch my spell cards. But I always put this, I always want like a third target, or a fourth target in this case, because I have Grand Bash, which continuous spell extender, the quick play spell, which is the E-Tele of the deck, and the Roga as also possibly summoned from hand. And so I wanted this as an additional option if I had all of that. And having the Ing archetype Imperm hasn't come up because we make so many Imperms in Engine, quote unquote, with extra deck. So this is an okay card. Like, I don't know how I'd feel if I didn't have this. Like, it almost feels mandatory, quote unquote, like a need it. Rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it type of card. That's the 40 cards. You could play a third quick play, and you could probably cut a second Me Merciless for it. Or a Boomlock, same thing, need it, rather have it and not need it than need it, not have it. This is a Boomlock. So like a Me Merciless, you get an engine and it recurs every turn with the tour guide. But like having tour guide trigger that is just enough. Off the extra deck, I like to give full thoughts. It's not for revenue. I'm not giving Ag a point where I can get revenue for this. I just want to explain everything to the best of why I played it and when it came up, because things do come up. One Utopic Future and the Utopic Draco Future. I'm testing these over the Troika Griari and the Goblin's Crazy Beast. This did come up in Tenpai. So I summoned this in like a Fortune Tune. And I'm still on that. And I set the Former Gixis because I bricked on it and he hand trapped me. And so he went like Regeki. I detached from this, I detached from Fortune Tune. And then in detaching from this, he goes Ogre, thinking it will blow up, and I just detach again. And then he like attempts to bounce this with like Moonlight. And I flip Former Gixis, use this to summon this. And this is just a dude now that it's impossible for him to out because he already Moonlighted. And so this came up in the 2-2 tourney, but not today in the 4-0 tourney. But just having this and this be really sticky, like stupid sticky into Tenpai, like was amazing to have. And arguably the way to go into Tenpai. Maybe this can be outed. They have a few ways to out this. So like it's just harder to out this and this into Tenpai, because this they can't damage. This will take whatever. So this is cool. And then this is just passively sticky, where this has to detach from card effect destruction, like substitute destruction by detaching one. It's not once returned, but it's only twice. But this was the way to go into Tenpai, and it really did help. And I wouldn't play anything else. Once the Kega King, Imperm on legs. It has a, when you Imperm, you can change the battle position, but that, like, it only ever came up once, and I think that was regional, but I was winning that match anyways. But you want the Cicada King for Imperm. One Fortune Tune. This is your Zeus, your guaranteed Zeus. It's also a time card, I guess, in that aspect. And it's so strong. You can't target. If it would be destroyed, I detach one. And that's so invaluable. So like card just breaks boards because you guarantee Zeus by going into this. And then you just swing, you detach. If you want to crash into something, you detach, protect it, and then you go into Zeus. Say a Fortune Tuning is just insane. Like today I summoned Zeus with this, swung into something, summoned Zeus, and then used Zeus, and they're like, yeah, cool. And then I was like, all right, main 2, or like still in main 2, I detached the third material from Zeus, and I started playing with other Goblin cards, so card insane. One big, Bamboozling Gossip Shuttle, your anti-nib card. And so like I'd rather have it. I'd rather just have it. So I will summon this as just a monster Omni negate, because this does not care where the monster is attempting to activate location wise. It just will change the effect till we both draw one, whereas this has to be on the field. And so this is amazing anti-nib, just nope, we're going to do something else now, and I would not change it. One Grand Pulse. Back row, only back row removal. Like, in Engine Way, you could get back row removal. So I'm playing it. I'm gonna play it. Alucard is like, same thing, but like, I don't want to invest on Ghost Trick Engine. So, one Triad Levia. I was testing this. 3 level 3s, so extremely steep to summon in this deck. Even giving how many extenders I'm on. But it does detach to target a monster on the opponent's field, negates effects, and reduce it by 800. Reduce its attack by 800 until the end of the turn. If it swings over anything in battle, it banishes it. And this is a card I've been wanting to test, and I didn't want to order. And fortunately, somebody had 2 copies. And I want this card. This is Imperm. But this is a quick play Imperm that I can do on my turn and on theirs. And it's, I get to choose one. It's not a reactionary, it's a proactive one. And so it's a niche rank 3, but I can't complain about this card because it did come up versus the lab match from the 2/2 tourney. And so I enjoyed this card. And like, I've equipped Xyz Armor Torpedo with 4 Armor Xyz and bumped it to 43. And then it skill drained everything when it battled, so it was cool. And niche, very niche. And you could play a different rank 3 if you want, absolutely. But this card's cool. I like the card, and it does have uses being another Imperm option on legs. One Grangosaurus. Not this weekend with the Bonanza, but the week before I did close the game with Grangosaurus. And I did summon this today. It was borderline BM, but I wanted to summon it. And it is our time card. But also that 1000 damage, I'm now realizing it helps. If they're segging monsters, you will summon this to guarantee some damage when something swings, and it's guaranteed 1000. And that did help me win a match last weekend, not Bonanza weekend before. So yeah. One Assure King. This card's dumb. Summoning 4 3s and just go, I'm going to overlay all 4 of them into a Shuriken. I've done that. I think I did that twice. I summoned a 4-mat, a Shuriken, and like twice now, in like this weekend for Bonanza, and the card performed. Like 4 swings for lethal, gain 200 for damage calculate, like gain 200 if it battles. Like, first attack will always be 2300, and then 25, 27, 29 if you're lucky. And it's also monster negate. So, like, I summoned it. I'm like, yeah, this has 3 attacks. And they're like, I'm like, Valor. And I'm like, I'm going to negate with the Shuriken. They're like, oh. I'm like, yeah, 23, 25. And they're like, yeah, I guess. So, you need a Shuriken is mandatory. 2 Bikabunga. On summon searches a Goblin monster. And if a card is detached from a Xyz on the field, you target something and absorb it. Deck sucks into Ancient Gear, and I realize that now. I struggled against that too last weekend. But you need this to search engine, and then it's also removal. And it's also a Goblin, so if you summon this with continuous spell, it's at least 2400 while you have it. So you need this. You need 2 for grind game. Armor Xyz package. No complaints. I'd play it again. And then this recurs the Xyz card. So if you Armor Xyz, it's not once per turn, like with the basic spell, not the trap card. And so you can do it again. You just need to have targets, but it's cool to add it back. And then just set Mysterious back row. So I wouldn't complain about these cards. They're cool. Yeah, these cards definitely showed up and performed to expectations and then some. One Zeus. One is enough. I've never missed a second Zeus, but you gotta play it to outboards. This card just clears the field, makes it so you can play the game a lot easier and just do what you need to do. And if you have, I only ever make like a 3-mat Zeus, or like today the second effect or the hidden effect is Zeus came up where they like popped to my continuous spell, and I was like, all right, Zeus effect, and he's like, what does that do? Oh yeah, that does things, and I was like, yeah, the secret effect. So yeah, Zeus is amazing. You need it, and you won't miss it if you don't play it. It's like non-negotiable because it does so much, and I'd play it again. Off the sideboard, still on the 3 draw. Gotta play 3. Search heavy format. Almost came up for Atlantean, Mermail Atlantean, and so I was just happy to see it, but he ended up passing turn because he broke. But that's why it's there, is decks like that, so I can survive. 2 retaliate, you can see. If they activate a spell, that's a spell or effect that summons, I special from hand, and then it's macros on legs. This is for I was hoping I wouldn't see Azamina, and I didn't, but my round-one opponent was on a Mologius Valmonka, and so I was like, or Ostinago, I was like, please. And I didn't see it, and he didn't see Ostinago. He ended up breaking, but this was like, okay, best case scenario, I see this for Azamina, and then I know Ostinago does the same thing, so I was like, all right, I have it. So that, I didn't see it, but it was there, and it had the potential to perform, and it almost did. 3 Deeper. I don't think I sagged this at all today, and it's just there. You call it Azamina, call Fusion. Tenpai, you call it Ixies. There's a Sprite player, so I could sag again and call Ixies if I wanted. No Necros. Well, there's, I think I saw a voiceless player, so like it has application, a Waga application. It's very, very relevant still. 3 T-Roar. Threatening Roar. Thank God I have a singular playset. I've gone through my stuff like 3 times and I finally found this. It came up against Tenpai. Ideal card to have for Tenpai because they don't get their attacks in to make a giant board. So yeah, you gotta have it. And it did come up against Tenpai player in the 2-2 tourney, and I just thank God I had it because it helped me win the match. Card performed. 3 Power Sync. Jink. What is it? Jink Skill Drain. This card helped answer the Labyrinth. And so this is almost like an auto, started becoming an auto side for Labyrinth. And I had no complaints about this card. It's a little weird, but it shows up and I enjoy it. Because it really gets them thinking like, oh, I can't just start comboing with monsters because then the skill drain. So yeah, card performed. I didn't struggle in any of my lab matches. 1 anti-spell. Saw it once against Tenpai and it was kind of argued over. So need it. Matchups. Round 1, Valmaka Melodius 2-0. He bricked both games, and you have a hard Baguska matchup, so you could think about Imperm droplets. It's hard to say because you need resources, and Imperm doesn't feel all that relevant and or effective as a 1-for-1 trade in a 40 card pile of extenders. So yeah, Baguska is this deck. This build specifically kind of sucks because you don't play links. So yeah, flaw in deck building, but it got 4-0, so I'm doing something right. Round 2, lab, furniture lab. Wasn't like a combo build or anything, and I did that 2-0. Game 1, I OTK'd, I think. And then game 2, he bricked, opened no engine, and I cleared board and just kept control in my favor. I think that was the game when I did the secret effect of Zeus after using it once and got to fire a second time. And it was kind of just like I summoned lethal after. So it's 2-0, and then round 3 was a who was it? Other lad player. And that was crazy. Just like game 1, I think I'm comboing and I go like, I think effect to search, and he was like, or effect to summon from deck, and he's like imperm as our effect to search, and he ashes. And then like I make a rank 3 with continuous spell extender, and then he goes like, all right, I'm gonna activate furniture, pitch EEV, and set welcome. I was like, detach from armor torpedo the level 6 to bring this guy back, trigger level 6, because when it's sent to grave from anywhere, it just takes a card from the field and makes a material into a goblin. And so he goes, alright, draw for turn, activate extrav, draw 2, and then he insta-scooped, and then game 2, I think I just controlled the game a lot better. I had a lot more control over the game than he did, and it was just kind of over from there. And then round 4 was scary, because that was Mermaid Atlantean, and I've been watching this guy hand loop and combo and OTK and just do all these crazy things. He won the 2-2 tourney that I attended, where I went 2-2, and he got the mat, and I raffled this one. And then today I played him, and what happened? I beat him 2-1. Game 1 I brick. Game 2 I had too much over him, too much card advantage over him, and we scooped to game 3, and he starts, and I'm like, God, I just gotta open as much engine as possible, and he just sets 1 or 2 and passes, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And so I start playing the game, and eventually I just took it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, we were both humbly, like, graciously just fortunate. We both we inversed, because he raffled the other mat, so we both took home 2 mats, which I just find hilarious. And so yeah, that's the deck profile. Thanks for watching. If you got to the very end, I appreciate it. I'm just here yapping about my favorite deck right now, like borderline of all time, because I get to summon Brontosaurus. And so yeah, this is Goblin Bikers. This is my take, updated list. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one, y'all. Be safe. Peace.